What's the most evil thing you've seen someone do while pretending to help? When my best friend Isla celebrated her 1-year mark in eating disorder recovery, I couldn't have been prouder. She'd fought so hard to get healthy after nearly dying from anorexia in college. Her boyfriend Gary had been incredible throughout her treatment, driving her to therapy sessions and celebrating every pound she gained. He'd constantly tell her how beautiful she looked healthy and would get genuinely excited when she finished a full meal. "You're glowing," he'd say, kissing her forehead. "I'm so proud of how far you've come." I honestly thought she'd found the perfect supportive partner who truly understood her journey. Around month 15, something started to change, but Gary was just as confused as the rest of us. Isla began losing weight again, and Gary seemed so worried. He'd encourage her to eat more at restaurants, suggesting we order appetizers and desserts. He'd express concern about how little she was eating and ask if she was feeling okay. When I'd voice my concerns privately, Gary would confide in me about how scared he was. "I don't know what's happening," he'd tell me. "She's been eating everything I make for her at home, but she keeps getting thinner." He seemed like he was doing everything right to support her recovery. As Isla continued losing weight, Gary appeared more and more distressed. He'd text me asking if I'd noticed anything different about her mood, wondering if she was restricting again. He'd ask if he should call her therapist, saying he didn't want to overstep but was really worried. He started making her favorite high-calorie meals, bringing home treats from her favorite bakery, and even suggested couples therapy to help them navigate her potential relapse together. He was being the perfect supportive boyfriend, which made Isla's continued weight loss even more confusing. The concerning signs kept escalating despite Gary's efforts to help. Isla would get dizzy spells and had to sit down frequently. Her clothes hung loose on her shrinking frame. Gary would hold her steady when she swayed, looking genuinely frightened. He'd suggest going to the doctor, saying this wasn't normal. He'd bring her protein shakes and energy bars, asking me to help convince her to eat them. He'd confide that he was making all her favorite foods, but nothing seemed to be working. Everything came to a head when Isla collapsed at home and Gary rushed her to the hospital. He called me in tears from the emergency room, sobbing about how they were running tests and her blood work was terrible. He said he didn't understand what was happening. When I arrived, Gary was pacing the hallway, visibly shaken. He explained that the doctors were asking about her eating habits and that he'd told them she'd been eating everything he made, but they thought she was restricting again. I reached out to Isla's family, and Gary supported the idea completely. He eagerly suggested calling her mom, saying maybe she could help figure out what was going wrong. When we planned a family intervention, Gary was the one who suggested it. He helped arrange the meeting and even offered to leave so Isla could speak freely. He told her parents he just wanted her to get better and would do whatever it takes. He seemed like the most supportive, caring boyfriend imaginable, which made Isla's continued decline even more mysterious and heartbreaking. 2 weeks later, Isla asked me to come to a dinner party she was hosting. She said she wanted to thank Gary for being so supportive during her health scare. When I arrived, Gary was in the kitchen preparing what looked like a healthy, recovery-focused meal. Isla looked skeletal, but there was something sharp and determined in her eyes. She hugged me and whispered, "I need you to stay for this." During dinner, Gary kept encouraging her to eat more, looking concerned about her small portions. Then Isla suddenly stood up and walked to their bedroom. She returned with a bottle of laxatives and a container of appetite suppressants. "I want everyone to see what Gary's been giving me," she announced, her voice steady and clear. "I discovered yesterday he's been crushing these into my food for months while pretending to be worried about my weight loss." The room fell silent. Gary's face went white. She explained that he'd been replacing her meals with diet versions and giving her these pills. Gary tried to stammer a denial, but Isla kept going, asking why he would do this to her. That's when Gary snapped. "Because I just think skinny girls are hotter, okay?" he yelled. "You looked better before, and I was trying to help you get back there without you having to go all batshit again." The room erupted. Isla's dad was already moving toward Gary, calling him a sick piece of shit as he tackled him to the ground. The police were called, and Gary was arrested for assault and reckless endangerment. Isla spent the next month back in treatment, but this time she was fighting for herself. These days she's never been happier or healthier.